Hello and welcome back from spring break. We're going to be maybe a little bit lazy, a little bit slow. That's okay. I'm recording this in the middle of spring break. I should have done it yesterday, but other things going on, and I've been a little bit lazy too. So, uh, this section is about variation, which sounds like just variables, but it's a specific kind of equation we're going to look at. Specifically, something called direct variation, which is what this video is about, and later on, inverse variation. So, anyways, let's look at this example first, where we've got a couple situations, and we want to see, is this ratio here, the second variable divided by the first variable, always constant? And I'll just describe what these situations are here. G is the number of gallons you might buy at a gas station. So if you buy 1 gallon, then P will be the price, which is $4 here. And the second table shows you the radius of a circle, and this is the area of that circle. And we just want to see, is the second variable divided by the first variable the same? That's what it means to be constant here, is it means that ratio, that fraction, will always come out to the same result. So you can try this yourself, or I'll do it here. So first, 4 divided by 1, if we're doing this ratio here that we're talking about, the P over G, and the result is 4. And likewise, if you do $10 divided by 2.5 gallons, you can check with your calculator, or maybe you can do that one in your head. Either way, the answer is 4. Here, if you do 40 divided by 10, you get 4. 52 divided by 13 also comes out to be 4. So for this one, the answer to A is yes, this ratio always comes out to be 4. And by the way, while we're at it, let's think about the units of this. When you take P dollars divided by G gallons, like $4 divided by 1 gallon, the units of that are going to be dollars per gallon. So here you can see that's just the price of the gas, $4 for every gallon. And that ratio is always the same. Now, let's do the same thing with the second part here. We're going to calculate A divided by R. And for the first one, this is 3.14 divided by 1, which is just 3.14. If you do 12.57 divided by 2, I need a calculator for that one. Get 6.285, which is something different than 3.14. And I'll just do the other ones really quick here. 50.27 divided by 4, it's the second variable divided by the first variable, gives you 12.56, and then if you do 201.06 divided by 8, that's what you'll get. So the thing is that this doesn't always come out to the same number at every point in the table. So that means it's not a constant ratio. It's changing between different parts. So because these are different, we can say the answer to this question is no. So let's think about this. If you have this kind of relationship here where P over G is always equal to 4, we can write that as an equation. And that's fine, but so there is a number that P over G is always equal to, is what this is saying. But with this one, if you try to write A over R equals K, where K is some number, this is impossible, because you're going to get different values of K at different values of A and R. So it is not possible to write A over R equals a constant. So let's think about what that means when you can write it like this. Usually you think of the second variable in a table as the output, like the y. So I want to write an equation for that p in terms of g. So what you can do to get that is just take this equation, multiply both sides of it by g, because the g over g cancels out, and you just get p equals 4g. So this equation is equivalent. It means the same thing as p over g equals 4. And you'll also notice that this makes sense too. If you take the values of g and multiply them by 4, like 13 times 4 is 52, 10 times 4 is 40. That means this equation still works with it this way. And this is kind of the more common way to write things. Now, this is actually, if it's possible to do this, to say that either y over x equals a number or y equals a number times x, that's what's called direct variation. And here is a definition of it. So this is the definition. We say y varies directly with x if there exists a number k, so that y equals kx. And that number k always has to be the same number. That's why it's called a constant. It doesn't change. And it's called the constant of variation. So x and y will vary directly with each other, and k needs to always be the same number. That's called a direct variation. Just saw an example of this with a p and g. So does there exist a number k so that p equals k times g? Yes, that number is 4. So the number 4 exists and it works here. So yeah, you can say that p varies directly with g. And you can also say here the constant of variation is 4. And you could also call it $4 per gallon if you want to include units.